Can I graze 200 goats on 5 hectares on a free range system? That is a question that was asked. I have seen a lot of questions that have come into that line. So in today's video, I want to handle that. Which space do you need for a certain capacity of animals, either on free range or zero grazing? Someone might ask that what is free range and what is zero grazing. Free range is leaving your goats to roam around, like as you can see in the background, the land, and you leave your animals to roam in this land. That is what we say is free range. But for zero grazing is making your goats to be in the house. For example, you can see some of our designs for zero grazing. You confine them in a particular area and you feed them from there. That's where you plant pastures, you plant what, to make sure that you give all those goats the balanced diet that they require. So those are the two systems that we are going to talk about, and the capacities of each carrying in a specific quantity or in a specific size of land, and as well as seeing that which one can you do, which one is best for you according to what you are having. Goat farming is one of the tricky projects that usually, if you're not planned it properly, you might lose along the way. And that is why it requires a lot of first preparation. You prepare your mind, you prepare the resources, and you start, because if you don't do that, it might be a nightmare for you. Some of the systems that you can use if you want to enter this creative venture, that is the free range and zero grazing system. And I have talked about zero grazing and free range. But if someone is looking at doing goats on a free range, firstly, it is favoring that person with a big size of land. Why? Because these goats, their behaviors, number one, they are browsers. A browser, you will not get a browser just feeding from one place to another slowly by slowly like a grazer. A cow, a sheep, those are grazers. That is their behavior. But the goat is a browser, meaning a goat, to get settled, it has to run from one point to another to see that it can get a shrub. After that, when the shrubs maybe they are not that much in the land, then they can start grazing, but still they cannot graze in the same particular manner like the cows and the sheep. So an acre on free range usually takes between 15 to 20 goats. An acre, imagine. So if someone is looking at having 100 goats, for instance, you need to be having, if 1 acre is taking 15, for example, then 10 acres can take 150 goats. If you have 20 acres, then it can take like 300 goats. That is the free range. So if you find people having 500, 1,000 on free range, that means they're having really a big chunk of land. But there are some people like me who are having a limited land, who are having very small land, 15 acres, and you want to do many things. Then for your case, we say, no, please, don't stress yourself a lot. What are you supposed to do? You narrow down to zero. You can keep many goats on zero grazing. You can even do other projects, yet you're using the same feeding criteria. For example, you can be having goats, you can be having sheep, you can be having cattle feeding on the same pastures that you planted. That is why I say that the zero grazing system for it is favoring people with limited size of land. And an acre, we say an acre on a zero grazing, it is going to give you between 50 to 60 goats. Now, if we go with 50 and you want 500 goats, how many acres do you need for pastures? Because the most important thing that is very crucial on zero grazing, that is the nutrition. Yes, the nutrition. If you make sure that you do a balanced diet for these animals, then I'm very sure that you have handled that nutritional part and you're not going to cry here and there that I don't have enough feeds for my animals. So if you want 500 goats, and we say that we need 10 acres for 500, someone on a free range is going to look after 150 goats on a free range, and you on a zero grazing, you're going to keep 500. If you said no, I want to also keep cattle, I also want to keep sheep, that is where you can now narrow down the number a bit. Instead of 500, you can go to 200. You bring in other animals to occupy the other quantity of feeds that would have been consumed by the 300 goats. If you know that you don't have land, you come to zero grazing. You are going to yield a lot from it. But now, who is supposed to do what? But before I go there, what is goat farming exactly? Because you have been watching a lot of videos on YouTube, you have gone to different farms. But goat farming, what are the pillars of goat farming? Yes, it is a very profitable business. I'm one of the people that can say that yes, goat farming is a very profitable business. Though there are some ups and downs that can beat you along the way, but still every business have certain issues. But now, these are the pillars that you can stand on when you want to do goat farming. Number one, that is the nutrition. The pastures that you're going to plant. For example, if you're going to do zero grazing, or if you're going to do semi-intensive, now you're doing both of them. You can allow your animals to roam and they go and they feed during the evening hours. In the morning, you can you can give them some feeds and they feed like up to 4 p.m. or up to 3 p.m. Then from 3 p.m. they can move out and they do exercise and they eat some other thing. That is semi-intensive, but it comes from the other main two systems that I talked about. So that is, I have talked about nutrition, the pillars, the nutrition, then the breed. If we go back to the systems and we talk about which breed is suitable for which system. If someone is going to do free range system, then I would advise to do breeding as well as looking at the slaughter market as well. Because since you're not going to put in so much, your animals are just moving. You're just doing some simple supplementation to your animals. Then why not you make sure that you have many goats such that if the market for slaughter is there, then you can handle it. If there is the breeding market that is there, you also have quality animals that can serve that purpose. That is what a free range can do. That is what I advise as someone who has done this for some good numbers of years. Let us come to a person who is going to do zero grazing. It is labor intensive. It requires you a lot. You have to plant pastures, many. You have to make sure that he is having a balanced diet, different pasture varieties. The one that is going to do fiber content, the one that will give you protein content, the one that will give you sugars. Meaning it is having a quite number of work that you have to do on it. And it is labor intensive. What I advise you, please and please, your main focus should go on breeding. Yes, you can have some for slaughter and what, but breeding would do wonders for you. Meaning you're going to keep these animals. If you start calculating the operational costs, then you will see that if you can sell a goat at 150 USD or 500,000, and you see that you have invested like 200 up to the time of selling it, then you're making some good profits. So if you're selling like 10, 30, 40, 100, so it is making quite some serious business. If you know you're going to do zero grazing, I send you to the breeding mainly. It is you who is watching this video. Which one can you take? Can you go with a free range or you can go with a zero grazing? The good thing, I have given you the considerations that you have to put into place. That is what we have said, and I'm very sure that by the end of this video you can decide on what you can do. Can you do zero grazing? Can you do free range? What I can advise that the land is limited, and if at all you can do various projects on it, the short term, long term, so that every specific period of time you can fetch in some money. That is why someone who is doing zero grazing can earn more than this person who is doing free range, just because this one who is on zero grazing is trying each and everything to see that his money that he's investing is putting in these projects to come up. So that is why he's always innovative in creating other products and other produce from these ventures. You will find him doing poultry, you will find him doing goats, you will find him doing sheep, you will find him doing rabbit, you will find him doing various animals or various crop production, just because he wants to make sure that he can get those that money that he has invested in those projects. So that is what I have advised. Now the ball still remains in your legs to see how you can roll it and you do something that is really good and is going to benefit you, benefit your community, as well as the country that you are in. Animal, or what we call food production, that is a sure win. If you start doing food production, you will not get food flopping on the market, you will not get meat flopping on the market, just because there is no buyers that are going to buy your food. Every day people eat. You can just preserve it. If today there is a lot, you preserve it. You smoke your meat, you pack it up. Tomorrow they will come for it and they buy it. Meat, this quality meat, usually it is expensive. Those people that do value addition, they pack and they do what? You people, you go to the supermarkets and you buy it expensively. Who is going to earn? Of course, it's me, the farmer. So it is just sitting down, strategize on the market, strategize on the breed, strategize on the feeds, and make sure that everything is in line. I'm assuring you, what can make you fail, maybe it could be management. I'm going to leave a link of the video that I did on management. Why some farms can stop operating? Yes, not making 5 years. What could be the reason? Yes, you can look for us. Give us a thumbs up. Please let us catch up in our next video. We love you.